Yeah, late ill kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing you street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, oh yeah, we coming with another wonderful episode of that on screen. This is a special live because we just saw the finale of course, Cloak and Dagger. I'm hyped. I just finished watching it just a second ago. I had to get my thoughts together. Really enjoyed it. And we're just going to talk about, how we felt about this season, how we enjoyed it, all of that good stuff, what you've been going through now. As we wait for folks to come into the live chat and all that stuff, you can check me on the Daily Show, dropping like comic book stuff, talking about all that great stuff and jazz. But I did want to give a shout out to a couple of folks real quick. Reuben Warren from Swag Patrol, Evolutionary Publishing with Marcel Dupree. Also, a big shout out to Marquita Lestar that does lounging with me on every other Tuesday, and a big shout out to my boy Arcatron that does Beats Vibes Life with me, talking about music on every other Thursday. So, if you're just jumping in the stream right now, make sure to hit that thumbs up, share this out to your friends because we're gonna be talking about Cloak and Dagger for a minute. I'm gonna get into this episode, the finale itself. And then I'm going to get into how I felt about the season as a whole. We can talk, jive, back, forth, all that good stuff. So, this episode was really good. And for those people that are saying that, this show has been slow paced, for people that have been saying that it's a slow burn, it's been taking too long, they need to get around to it, they need to, hop to it. This show or this episode was pretty fast paced for those people that were saying they had those specific problems. Wow. Even the way they tied in the divine pairings from, the past, it didn't break the show. It helped inform on the message that, of course, Tyrone and Teddy were on, which I really thought was dope, man. The incorporation of the supernatural, the incorporation of the divine pairing to our real kind of everyday world has been done so well with this show. So in this episode, we get those stories of the young kids way back, like the Native Americans, like way back. We get a story of war in 1812. We get a story of these two brothers, and each one one has to die. And I mean, it helps elaborate on the statement from the episode before, in Backbreaker, where she was like, "Hey, one of these people gonna have to die. Someone, they ain't gonna be like that. Somebody gonna have to fall for this." And I just really dig the actress that plays the aunt. And I can't remember her name. I tried to pull it up and I was just rushing. But also Evita, and I'll just be saying Vita for short on the show. But Vita and her aunt has been a great part of just this episode, culminating what they've been talking about since we saw her do her tour, like in episode, say, 2 or 3. Seeing them become kind of like a guardian of the wills, if you will, of this, of this show, of this divine pairing, carrying on that torch, protecting the city, identifying the divine pairings and stuff like that. That's something that's really cool, and I love to see it play out in this episode because even the aunt was like, "You need to go and say something, go speak to them, go contact, come in contact with them," and just their incorporation was crazy fresh. I'm going to get to Tandy and stuff in a little bit, but I want to build up. You got to build up. Also, everybody that's in the chat, hey, thanks for rolling through. Thanks for checking me out. If you like what you're seeing, hit that thumbs up. Don't hit that thumbs down, but I will be keeping my eyes on you. And make sure to share this stream to your folks so we can all talk about Cloak and Dagger. I did want to talk about Peter Scarsborough, or Scarborough, I think. He laid his plan down pretty smooth, man. If the hit woman hadn't screwed up, his plan would have been nice and tidy. Like, I gotta give him, on the level of dirty corporate douchey guy, I gotta give him an A+, man. He put his plan, like the people carrying out his plan didn't do their job, but he he did a wonderful job of like, all right, cool. I got this lady. She's the water lady. She go kill people. Nobody's going to think about the water lady. It's just bringing the water, man, refilling the water. So honestly, her taking out the lawyer and then taking out Tandy and her mom, that would have wrapped this up in a bow for him. But of course, he didn't. Well, honestly, he should have told the assassin that, yo, this girl got special powers. Like, I don't know why he ain't tell her that. Maybe, only thing I could think is like maybe he was, I don't know, he ain't want to, I guess elaborate where she'd be like, how she gets special powers? How does she know this? How can she do this? Maybe that's it. But I mean, if you want your assassin to succeed at assassinating, then maybe you need to give them all the information, man. You can't be like, yo, I want you to go kill somebody, and you don't tell me that they can make like super, light knives and stabbers and daggers and blades and all that stuff, and she can throw it with the illest of precision. Come on, man. Like, yo, you messed yourself up. That's why you ended up dead. But I'm just saying, you messed your own self up by doing that because, yo, man, you could have had this wrapped up. Holla at me. Yo, people that are trying to commit, you know what I'm saying, acts of, you know what, don't holler at me. I don't even want to put that on tape. But check it on the real. That's how he messed himself up. If he would have gave the assassin all the information about Tandy, about her powers and stuff, homegirl might not have played too long. She might have just came in and been like, click it, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? She wouldn't have been wasting that time talking about, I got a gun to your mama head, like waiting all day. She wouldn't have waited all day. She would have been like, yo, man, this girl is a threat. I got to be serious. I got to take her out. You know what I'm saying? I don't got time to be wasting trying to like talk and stuff with her. I got to really, really take this chick down. So I think he screwed her on that. They both paid the price. But the funny thing is, even though Vita called Tandy a little girl, homegirl got some squabble. You know what I'm saying? She got some squabble on her. I got to give her, homegirl had it where it counts, and I didn't know. Didn't see it coming. Straight up. Didn't see it coming. Didn't think she could tussle like that. Like, I know she steal, but she don't kill. And usually if you don't kill, that means you ain't got the powers to kill or the abilities. So homegirl, wrestled around, tussled with her, took care of her, you know what I'm saying? And homegirl got up out of there. So props to Tandy because I didn't know that you could fight like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know old girl had a little tussle in her. So, I got to give her props. You know what I'm saying? Props where props is due. Big shout out also to O'Reilly, even though it didn't work. O'Reilly coming in the nick of time, riding up to try to get Tyrone to jump in the whip. That was, yo, O'Reilly, we here. You know what I'm saying? Old girl, we down. It was cool that she didn't just look out for herself, because she could have been like, yo, look, they killed my boyfriend. They framed this dude for killing a cop. All kinds of, yo, we just getting out of here. I'm just out. I'm bouncing. And she didn't have to, she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to like stay for him. You know what I'm saying? She could have easily left. So I gotta give her props. That really kind of like shows me her character. Because at first, of course, she was kind of leery and a little standoffish. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, if you're a cop, like, you don't know if someone's telling you the truth or not. So it's cool that she still came back for him to protect him, to try to keep him out of danger. I'm kind of mad that your boy didn't disappear on everybody, because had it been me though, brother would have disappeared. I'd have been out. Like, I ain't gonna front on y'all. Like, I'm not gonna lie, out of bounds. I'd have been like, swoop, I'd have been gone, son. So I like the fact that she came back. Tyrone with the cloak, not being able to control his powers or thinking he can't. That was something that I guess was necessary, because they had to link up together and end up at the police station. But speaking of that cloak, man, I like the connection to his brother being the way that he channels the best of his powers, the best of his abilities. I just like that. I really like that. Let me know what you think about as far as his brother and the connection to his brother and stuff like that. I think that's really really fresh, really fly the way they pulled that off. Because they could have just been like, oh well, I don't need the cloak no more. But they made sure to let us know that his connection to his brother is still strong even now, even after he's kind of solved the crime. He still needs that connection, and that connection makes him better, not weaker. So I think that's dope. Don't call me boy is a dope line in this episode. Straight up, super dope line. I just really really enjoyed that line. It was sick. Then on top of that, I really like how they dealt with the one officer that was going back and forth with them on the kind of like the morality of why they're in there. Knowing that like, hey, I'm not a criminal, I'm not a killer, I didn't do anything. I'm from here, and I didn't do this. So him sort of turning a blind eye to help them out, I think that was dope. I do want to get into Mina Hess and Ivan and just I guess the terrors as a whole. What are you guys thinking about the terrors? Because I think the way the terrors were played out is pretty dope. I know, there are some people that might be like, oh, the terrors, is just an easy villain. I think the effect that this power has on those that are not chosen to be the divine pairing is very telling. It's kind of like you either are, you is, or you ain't. You know what I'm saying? So I like that power. I like having that, I guess, that distinction between those that are chosen and those that are not, and those that are powerful enough to take on this power. Because, the divine pairing, they're able to handle this power and channel it. But those that aren't worthy, man, drives them mad. So I think that's dope how they played with that. I also like how they tipped on the edge of Mad City, and I even tweeted out, I was like, "Yo, Q Mad City," because that whole joint was crazy, man. So like to see the way it played out, the way it goes by touch, and how just everybody was affected. Of course, during Mardi Gras and all that, it was a great addition. It was a great addition, and something that I thought was going to be more zombie-ish, and it did get zombie-ish, but not to the point where it was indistinguishable from any other I guess zombie show. So I like that, and also kudos to how the assassin went out. I like that. Old girl just got bit up, son. It's like it's funny to see because sometimes you have like those assassins where it's like there's this big moment where she's taken out, and it's like nah, homegirl got caught slipping, like straight up. That's how she went out. She got caught slipping. The end. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no sweeter and more realistic way for her to go out than just like, yo, she got caught slipping. You know what I'm saying? She was trying too hard, working too hard to try and like take out what is it? Trying to take out Tandy and Mina, that she got bit herself, or I don't know, stab, kill, whatever. I think they bit her. I'm gonna just say she got bit because like, yo, shorty got bit. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, she got bit, and that's just it. But real quick, big shout out to the chat. Let me see. It just passed, so it just went blank. YouTube tripping. So shout out to the chat. Shout out to the folks watching, checking out. Also, how are you guys feeling about Tyrone's family, like mother and father, this episode? Like, what do especially with the cops rushing the house, how are y'all feeling about that? Like, because I understand as parents, you want to kind of like protect your kid. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense that you want to protect your kid and you want them to get out, but I guess they were in a weird position where they didn't know kind of like what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't know whether to kind of like go after him and protect him, or to kind of like stay and chill and just act like he's not here or whatever. So I gotta give him the props for doing that. Oh, Alan Lewis is in the chat. What up, Alan Lewis? What up? What up? Um, what are you feeling? How you feeling about this episode, man? How you feeling? Because I thought this joint was solid through and through. How you feeling? Um, see, the but back to the parents. I think I think if the parents would have done more up front when they brought the stuff about Connors up, I think he would have felt more confident when it came to the later part of the episode where he felt that he didn't have the power. And the only power that he could get is something that his brother had instead of just the power of knowing that his family was behind him. I think that he's always felt alone, even with his parents being there, to semi guide him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I feel like he's never felt that kind of like energy or love from them. Um, let's see. Also, big shout out to the actress that plays Tandy's mom. I know a lot of people say it's kind of like a smaller role, and it's kind of like not a big deal. But I'd say that something where you play a support and your power comes through on that episode when they went to the shore. So just even that, and even here where she was playing more of a hostage role, I thought that was dope. But back to Tyrone, I love how you know even though he didn't have the cloak, he still wanted to help, but he needed that kind of pick me up from Tandy, and he was willing to kind of like jump back in the game. This episode shows another great kind of like I guess another great example of how good a team they've become. Of course, rocky friendship though it has been because they met with her stealing, well, no, technically they met with him saving her life, but after that it was kind of like her stealing, him chasing her down, all this stuff. And I like how he needed her at a moment and she was able to kind of pick him up and also gave him that hoodie, hashtag hoodies up. But she gave him the hoodie that really meant something to him at that time. Um, it was perfect, man. That was the pep talk he needed. So I'm digging that in the show too. Yo, this episode was really just it was solid. It was solid. I like the way we played with the supernatural. I like the way we tied up Peter Scarborough. I like the way we dealt with the corporate assassin. Like there's just a lot here that I was really digging. That I think could have went wrong. Could have went very wrong. Could have went sideways. But I feel like they tied it up with a decent bow and left us room for more. Like left us room to be able to go to the next level, the next chapter in their lives, and also seeing that that the holy ground is like their kind of like base of operations. I really enjoyed it, man. Like this show is killing it. And speaking of that, the way he handled Connors at the end is wow. I did not expect to see that on screen. I did not expect to see Connors taken out like that. I thought Connors was gonna go kind of just the way of like falling off the top of the building or something, end up dead on the ground. But I like how they took him out. I like that. I think there's a very good way to handle him in this show, like in the context of this show. I think he handled it like extremely well. And now it opens up a door because in that scene, Tyrone actually shows us like 3 or 4 different powers that we haven't seen before. So that's nice. That's nice to see from him. That's a good that's like a good step forward. But take Tandy, kind of like not leaving him alone, coming in to save him at the end with the explosion, joining hands and being able to release that energy, to like channel that energy through them. Imagine how much power that is, and they were able to channel it without dying. that divine pairing, or this divine pairing that we have now with Tyrone and Tandy, is extremely strong, extremely powerful on the sneak tip. And I want to see where it goes. Like, I want to explore how far they can take their abilities and what they're going to do with them. I really think this is something that's going to go to the very, very next level. So yeah, I'm super into it. I'm definitely down to see how this goes because this is a good show. This is a very good show. So with that said, I'm gonna get into just this season, like how I felt about this season. Um, I've always, I guess, starting from the first episode, the double episode that they had, I've never, I guess, I've never felt that this show has missed a beat. From the first episode, I've always felt that this show was doing a solid job of telling us who these characters were and what their motivations were. Um, Big shout out to Mr. Black Culture. What's up? What's up? Nice to see you in the spot. What up, PCU? PCU. Real quick question. I just finished talking about this episode. How have you felt, Mr. Black Culture, about this season? Like, how have you felt about this season as a whole, as far as like the characters, whether it be like their growth or their regression, or how have you felt about their stagnation, if that's the case? You know what I'm saying? Because I've really, really been interested in just how well they've handled the school, the cops, the parents, their personal lives. They've really gone a long way to show us who these people are. The only thing that I don't think has been characterized as much, because you do have Tyrone and Tandy to get to, even though they've done it through the aunt, we haven't characterized, I guess, New Orleans as much as I guess I'd like to see. But through, the aunt and the stories, we've gotten a lot of what New Orleans means to its people and to her. So through that, I've learned a lot about just the history there and just like what the city feels like. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Outside of the city, I'd say, kind of like what Tyrone has lost, because they spent a good amount of time on what Tyrone has lost in his brother and how much that meant. When they went back to, I believe they said he was from Lower Ninth Ward, but I want to say I'm right. But what he lost and what the family lost, I think we got a really good look at that. And then on Tandy's side, the same. And seeing how Marquita brought this up to me yesterday, seeing how loss affected these families differently. With Tandy's family, they lost the husband and father, and took all the I guess accolades or the money or whatever. And ever since that moment, they fell, they declined, they went down, they were never the same. On Tyrone's family, when the tragedy happened, they kind of like banded together, even though they didn't really get a chance to grieve. They banded together and got up out of the Lower Ninth Ward to Mid City. So, you see these situations where both of these families kind of swap places through a tragedy. Because at the beginning, Tyrone and his family, they're kind of like living in the hood. And then you got Tandy's family. She's a ballerina. They're living in a nice house. They're married and all that stuff. And that tragedy actually kind of gets them to swap places to a certain degree. So I thought that was really cool, seeing that they were connected in that type of way, to see how tragedy had affected their ecosystems, I guess you could say. Also, how do you feel about how these guys dealt with their visions? Let's see. Yeah, a lot of dope dynamics in this show. And one of the dynamics that I liked is how they played with how they saw their visions, and also the visions they saw. Being, of course, Tandy saw the hopes, and Tyrone saw the fears. But seeing how hopes and fears sometimes can look similar, even though they were lit the same. When you see, Tyrone's hopes of being able to find the cop and, kill him or shoot him or whatever, how that could also be a fear, how that could have been turned and changed. So seeing those dynamics change between those two characters through tragedy was a huge part of the season and really good, really well laid out, man. Like I really, really dug it. So yeah, good point, Mr. P, Mr. Black Culture. Really, really dope. Also, if you're watching the stream, let me know. I'm talking more about the season as a whole now. But if there was anything about this finale that you were digging, drop it in the chat. Let's talk about it. Because this season was like done really well. Another thing that I think was done, like as far as on a characterization point, was the father's disassociated relationship with his younger son. I think they did a good job of showing how grief made him push away the rest of his family. They were what my grandma likes to say. They were alive, but they weren't living. The mother was there, father was there, son was there, but there wasn't any life in the home. And seeing how he kind of pushed his son away, pushed his wife away, and same from the wife and the son, they kind of all wanted their own space and didn't really bother each other. They didn't really bother to talk to each other. There was that one powerful moment where the mother was saying that she was worried that even if he did everything right, she would still lose him. So that's a dope part. And then seeing when the son gets a chance to go back to the Ninth Ward and sees the cloak, how he just kind of gravitated to it and how he dealt with that. I think that was a great opening and a great spot for the father and the son to, I'll say it, reconnect, because they had been weirdly inside the same home but estranged for so long. I also like how we dealt with the friend. I thought that was sick too. Welcome. Thanks for rolling through. I see some numbers jumping in. So guys, thank you for joining the stream. Right now, I'm talking about the season as a whole. But if you were digging anything on the finale too, holla at me, throw it in the chat. Let's talk. Thank you for rolling through. Let's talk some Cloak and Dagger, man. I was really digging it. Right now, I'm talking about the friend, the brother's friend that came through, and kind of how it's weird because at first I was hoping that he would be more than he was, hoping that he would be, I guess, more upstanding, especially after seeing what had happened and what is still happening in his neighborhood. And it looked like he was kind of a stand-up guy until we found out that he was essentially just working with Connors. And it kind of hurt, but you see how that can happen in real life. And the sad thing is to see that, unfortunately, he had to die, and he had to die in front of Tyrone, and that kicking off a whole nother thing. So that is, man, this show just did a good job of dealing with these characters and how they played out and how they related to each other. Because even you guys remember, if you guys were watching the rest of my reactions, I wasn't really feeling O'Reilly at first. I was like, yo, the way they just kind of characterized her was weird because he just came out of nowhere, had sex with a dude in the back of the car. It was just kind of random. But then they peeled back and showed us who she was. And even O'Reilly, man, I ended up digging her too, man. And hopefully, due to what we saw in the finale, O'Reilly will end up being okay. We'll save O'Reilly. She gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? We know she killed a bee, but it's all good. She gonna be good. We gonna take care of her. But I think we're at a point now where, O'Reilly can really make a larger difference in the Force if she's ever able to change and come back, unless she becomes like a villain of some sort. But hopefully she'll be able to change and come back. and maybe change the force for better. Because like they said, she even said there ain't that many good cops out there, man. It's not looking good for them. Uh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so Mr. Black Culture says the series showed a lot of reality of the youth and society as a whole. Yeah, they did. They did a good job using this as a backdrop to talk about what kids are going through and what adults are going through, and even families sometimes. Because we dealt with, the father coming back to the Ninth Ward. We dealt with the mother and father's relationship, the family relationship, Tandy with her boyfriend Liam in and out, going back to jail, all kinds of stuff. And I think that this show did a good job to be honest with us, what I'm saying, the viewer, about where these characters are and who they think these characters are, and where they might be. Because their lives are not rosy. I think there is a chance for a brighter day. With Vita, I think Vita's a very good addition to the show. I think Vita's a very good, I guess you could say, I guess you could say influence, a very good influence on Tyrone's life. And, of course, he has a relationship with her. So that's, I guess that's good. She's a good influence, and, they like each other. So I guess that's, pluses all around for Tyrone. And then Tandy, seeing how she's kind of mending the relationship with her mom. I like that, because a lot of people will say this show was a slow burn. And I will agree that this show wasn't fast. It wasn't action packed, but it showed us an honest representation of where this city is, of where the police force is, of the relationship between the people and their police, and where our star characters are, where our heroes are. And we saw them grow. We saw them grow from, on Tyrone's side, just being this random basketball player. He had hopes to go to college, all that stuff. And Tandy being someone who was just kind of like hustling, struggling, striving, stealing, swindling, whatever she could, to this point where they've become heroes. They just saved the city. So we have two people that have gone down this long road, and we have watched them for 10 hours grow from people that had no idea what was happening to them to people that, took control of the situation and put it on themselves to save Ivan, to save the city, to save Mina. Well, not really save Mina, but you know what I mean. Like they have become heroes. They have become saviors. They have joined together to be something bigger than maybe either of them have ever done or, ever dreamed of doing. And I don't think it would be so important unless we saw such a, I don't want to say, a very intentional slow burn, with a very important payoff for the characters. And it's something that's good to see. And a show like this, it's very, very good to see. This show has been very well done. And from the acting point, like Olivia Holt, Omari, is it Amar? I cannot remember Tyrone's real name, but both of those actors carried a lot of emotion and a wide range of emotion. O'Reilly really came through and showed her emotion at the tail end. Seeing Mina go from happy-go-lucky to kind of like standoffish with Tandy, like all of these actors really came through, man. There's not one actor that I was like, oh, they were kind of whack and throwaway. Everybody had some emotional weight to them. Even like their day players, like his brother's friend. They could have just picked anyone off the street, but they got someone who was solid, someone who seemed real. I think that's the point. Even if none of these guys are going to get an Emmy or whatever, they played genuine characters in a genuine way. And I think that's why this show is a very surprising hit for me. Because I was worried. I was like, Cloak and Dagger, I don't know. I've never really dug them in the comics. But this is something that's normally not said on the Geek Tip. I like the show better than the comics. I like the representation here on the show than in the comic books. And I think I'll be honest, this show is making me interested in going back and seeing if maybe I missed something, like rereading something, seeing if there's something I missed, baby, that would make them choose to make a show out of this. Because I'm digging it, man. This is a show that I was like, I'm gonna watch the first episode and I'm gonna probably bounce. And that is not the case anymore, man. I am hooked. And being that Freeform is doing it back to back with Runaways tonight, Runaways is another one, man. Big shout out to Ryan Sands and the whole team. Mr. Black Culture. Season 2 is already confirmed. I can't remember. Did Deadline run it? I want to say Deadline ran that there's already going to be a season 2, I believe. I want to say it was a tweet from Deadline, but this is a show that this Runaways, Marvel on TV is doing a pretty good job. Even the shows, and to see the connection. I want to get into that before I go. Before I bounce, the connection of this to the Netflix series opens up a very interesting can of worms through the police force. Do you think, Alan or Mr. Black Culture, anyone in the chat that's checking us out, do you think that we're going to see, either O'Reilly on Luke Cage or maybe Misty on, like it or not, Cloak and Dagger? Because I think I'd be interested in that. Or maybe Claire, because Claire is another thread that kind of like weaves these guys together. Maybe Claire, would you be interested in seeing those kids taking a trip to New York for some, ridiculous reason? I mean, it's comics, man. They'll make up something. You know what I'm saying? But would you be interested to see that crossover or just see something on a larger, I guess, disassociated scale, like maybe seeing representatives from Rand Corporation coming in because Roxxon did this, or maybe representatives from Stark come in or something like that? Because with the mentions of Rand and Stark, this is pretty cool, man. This is very cool. I was like, wow, all right, so they're really going for this, and seeing how good it is, I'm not mad. Like, I think this season has been very strong. And we haven't gotten the action that like maybe Daredevil or Luke Cage has. But the action that we didn't get was played up and transferred in spades to the characters that we know. Like, I feel like I know where Tandy's mom comes from. I know where Tyrone's dad is coming from, or where the police force is right now. Or I know how the teacher, I know who the teacher at Tyrone's school is. I know Vita. I know her mom. I mean, her aunt. You know what I'm saying? These are people that I feel like I know. And all times, or not at all times, do I feel like I know someone from Daredevil. So I feel like they've done a good job at handling many characters in a very real way, man, and just really dope. Connects. Connects only. And of course, I'm assuming that they wouldn't do it in a corny way. So, I wouldn't mind seeing like some more references, and maybe some references on the other side too, because we did get that reference in season 2 of Luke Cage about O'Reilly. So maybe maybe a reference in a movie or another episode of Daredevil or something about Roxxon Corporation, or how something crazy stuff is popping up even in the South or something. Like random statements to help us realize this world. Because right now, if you're bringing them into the movies, you're looking at, now we have to think, okay, where does this lie in the MCU? And this is interesting. Okay, so I guess you have to ask, when is this? Because I believe if this is in the MCU, along with Netflix and everything, I guess we can assume that this is before Infinity War because random people ain't disappearing. And I guess we can assume that this is after Luke Cage season 2. So this is interesting. So this would probably be before Infinity War, before this season of Agents of Shield, but after Luke Cage season 2. I feel like we need one of those crazy detective, walls to connect where the shows and the time periods, or maybe, Kevin Feige, someone who always watches my show, live streams end to end all the time. Kevin, what up, man? How you doing? Give us a timeline, man. Give us a nice, chart with a timeline of where everything is happening. Season 1 of this and season 2 of that and season 4 of this, and we could use it so that when I'm talking about stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, that happened before this, because apparently there's no talk about people disappearing. So this is before, I guess, yeah, before Agents of Shield season. What was this? Season 5, season 4, 5, something like that. Before Ant-Man and before Avengers: Infinity War, but after Luke Cage season 2, and of course Defenders and stuff like that. So, yeah, this opens up another can of worms, and it helps us with this show being as good as it is. It helps us dip further into the supernatural, which is something that I love. People have always asked me what comic book character from Marvel or DC would I love to write, and that character is Brother Voodoo. But I would cut off the brother, like there's no reason for that. Just call him Voodoo, and I would love to write that story. Man, I'm super into supernatural action, so I would love to write that. But I want to see where they take this. I really want to see where they take this. What could there be implications for the MCU due to this? Could this energy that we're feeling on a supernatural level reach out? Could it stretch out? Could it, permeate other parts of the nation, of the country, of the world, and get us talking on a supernatural scale? Because we've gone cosmic, and that's been solid. So now, since we've gone cosmic, could we go to the supernatural edge? See the other side. I mean, we've done to a certain degree with Doctor Strange, so could we go a little deeper to like demons and stuff and spirits and entities? I'm into it. I'm definitely into it. So, guys, thank you for checking this out. Let's see, to everyone in the chat, to Alan Lewis, to Mr. Black Culture, to Cooley High, all those people that stopped through. Big shout out to all you guys, because I love the show and I love talking about the show. Really dig it. Before we dip, any predictions for season 2? What do you want to see? Like, what are you interested in going on this season coming up? Like, because for me, I wanna see them mature in their powers. I think that's it. I want to see them, especially those couple new tricks that we got from Tyrone. I want to see a couple new tricks from Tandy. You know what I'm saying? A couple new tricks on her end of like how she's, using the light, forming the light. Can she form other things besides daggers? Can she do more? Can they do more when they touch? Like, just the exploration of their ability and abilities. I want to see that. I think that's what I'm most interested in. Like, he's essentially sucked someone into the darkness, and I don't know what that does. I mean, is that like purgatory? Those are the things that I'm like, wow, okay, I'm there. We here. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. Let's do something dope and supernatural and weird and scary and fun in this show. So I'm definitely down for that. So yeah, I think my predictions or my hopes for season 2 is exploring their abilities further, seeing if Tandy is able to do something similar but opposite for people when kind of like when Tyrone sucked that dude Connors into the darkness, can she bring people into the light? Is there maybe reviving people, maybe not resurrecting them, but maybe reviving people of different ailments or something. I'm not sure. Just what will they evolve their powers to? I'm very interested to see where they could take that, where it might end up, where it might land. Because this is a dope show, man. Some dope show and some very, very good characters. Some very incredible characters. Vita, I was about to write her off. Like straight because usually whenever a show has a lead or co-leads, it's just like, yo, it's the Tyrone and Tandy show. Don't worry about everybody else. But Tyrone's mom is solid. Tyrone's dad is solid. Like that moment when he found out that he stole the took the bolt cutters. Like that moment was a real moment between father and son. The moment with his mom back and forth with him about losing him even if he does everything, that's a real moment. When Tandy comes home and her mom stole her money, that's a genuine moment. Like these, yo man, all of these actors and actresses came through and gave us characters that we can see either in our own families or see in our friends, but we definitely see in our lives. And I think that's where this show shined. I mean, of course, it's on Freeform, so it can't be Infinity War Part 2. I wasn't expecting to see a whole bunch of fights and stuff like that. But when we did get fight scenes, like the one when they were inside Ivan's mind, seeing them play off each other and use their powers to assist one another, this could be really dope in season 2. Like just having him like phase and like disappear and reappear and just and then her stabbing the people. You're like, yo, I'm all for it. But real quick, just wanted to really hark on like the aunt was dope. Just all of them seemed real. Connors even seemed real. He seemed like a slimy dude. Even Fuchs seemed like a genuine guy that was into O'Reilly. Like all of these people seemed genuine in the world that we were set in. And I think, we owe a huge kudos not only to the actors, but the writers, the directors. This show really came through, man. This show is something, like I said, I was about to write off. I was about to be like, not feeling it, boo. And I saw the first 2 episodes and I was like, okay, okay, I see what you're doing. So so I'm digging the show, man. For all the people that are in here now, thank you for checking me out. Thank you for jumping in on the stream. My question to you guys, if you haven't answered it in the chat yet, what are you interested in for season 2? And what did you love about season 1? See, Mr. Black Culture, just wanting to see how the writers play things out to see if they keep the same feel or change up. Yeah, they might. What would you be interested in them changing up? I'm wondering. Like if they changed it up, because I mean they'll be right now they'll probably be a little more mature in their powers. And see, that's another thing. Are they going to do a time jump? That's a very interesting thing. Will they do a time jump? I guess that's the biggest question after any season. Like, is there going to be 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or is it going to be like the next day? Because that would play a large part on what we expect to see. Yeah, I wonder if they would do that. If they would, because if they switch it up, I'm guessing it would be because they want to do a time jump. But I feel like I enjoy these characters so much, I don't want to do a time jump. I want to be like, yo, what happens tomorrow? Especially for a show that I was like not feeling. And like when they announced it, when they showed the trailer, I was just like, I don't know. And now I'm on board. I am definitely on board. This is a show that has shown improved through the acting, through the characterization, and through the realization of this city that they're in. They really came through, man. They really came through. So, guys, thank you for checking out the stream. I have got to bounce, but I have loved Cloak and Dagger season 1. The finale was straight blazing. I guess my favorite moment. I'll end with this. My favorite moment of the whole season would have to be when Tyrone says, "Don't call me boy." Like that. Just that that really spoke out to me. Yeah. Mr. Black Culture. I'm up to either if they're done well. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure this is one of those things where you come strong and you don't change a thing. Like I'm hoping all the writers stay on, the directors stay on, or get called back for different episodes. Of course, all the actors and actresses stay back or come back. Like this is a dope team. This is definitely a dope team. And Tyrone saying, "Don't call me boy." That's right. Hashtag don't call me boy. It's one of my new joints. I tweeted out. Still love it. So, guys, before I bounce, go on and holler at me. That's right. NERDSoul. That's right. NERDSoul. One word. If you're here right now and you're digging what you're seeing, go on and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. If you're not feeling it, you can hit that thumbs down. But remember, I'll be watching you. I'll be watching. But also make sure to check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just at ThatNERDSoul, because I'll always be there to talk about fun stuff, dope shows that we like. Man, this has been a really good season, and I feel like I know these people, which is what a good season should do. So guys, holla at me. I'ma holla at you. Down in them comments. Let me check the chat one more time. Yeah. All right, cool. Everybody, y'all all being cool and chill and everything. So holla at me. I'm holla at you. Down in them comments. Let's talk some Cloak and Dagger. I have really dug this season. I hope you've dug it too. If you had any nitpicks or whatever, go on and throw them down in the comments. Let's fight it out over your nitpicks. There's probably stuff that I saw too. It was just like, and I just let it go because the show was so good. Similar to like Black Lightning, like I did not like the suit, but the show was so good, I was just like, I don't care. Like, dude could be wearing a trash bag. This is a dope show. So before I bounce, thank you for checking me out. You can check out all my folks like Swag Patrol. You can check out Marquita Lestar. You can check out Evolutionary Publishing. You can check out Bounce from Chuck Collins. Dope comics for you to check out. Very great stuff. Arcatron, check him out for some dope. I ain't even gonna say it because it's a family show, but some dope beats. Anyway, thank you for rolling through. Really love this season. And of course, from me to you, I'm just saying, peace. Yo, man, it's a dope show.